Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in again to the Voyage cast. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. You let me know what you think. Leave some comments for us, and if you like it, then we'll do some more of this. So here it goes. Three stories, one show. Illinois wants every student screened for mental health. Cancer drugs may hold the key to reversing Alzheimer's, and a sex offender in Colorado walks free after an attempted abduction. This is the Voyage Cast Top 3. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker has signed Senate Bill 1560, making Illinois the first state to require annual mental health screenings for every public school student, grades 3 through 12, starting in 2027. Parents, of course, can opt out, which is a good thing, and they probably should. The most likely screening tool is the PHQ-9, a 9-question depression survey. It's considered accurate, about 88% in clinical use, according to a 2001 study, but it was developed by Pfizer funding, the same Pfizer that produces antidepressants. Critics call this a conflict of interest, pointing to a 2019 JAMA study showing doctors who took pharma payments prescribed for antidepressants. Supporters include NAMI Illinois say it's a step to fighting rising youth suicide rates, now the second leading cause of death for kids between the ages of 10 and 14. Now, screening itself isn't the enemy, of course. Shallow care really is, like bad care. A 9-question survey can't replace the messy human context of a child's life. It can flag symptoms, certainly, but it can't tell you if that's because of bullying, family stress, or just the ups and downs of adolescence. If the next step is a rush consult and a prescription, we've really failed as parents and as educators, to be honest. We've reduced a child to a number and let a pill carry the weight that it was never meant to bear. So here's my advice to parents. If your child gets flagged, whether that's in Illinois or if you're here in Colorado, slow the process down. Ask for a more full and complete evaluation by somebody who actually knows your child's story. Don't outsource your child's identity to a form. Screening should be the doorway to deeper care, not the end of it. So from the classroom to the lab, where Alzheimer's research just took a stunning turn. Researchers at UCSF and the Gladstone Institute reviewed over 1,300 FDA-approved drugs looking for Alzheimer's potential. 2 cancer drugs stood out. Letrozole for breast cancer, not sure I said that right, and irinotecan for colon and lung cancers. Again, not sure I said that right. In mouse models, the combo did what almost no Alzheimer's treatment has ever done. It actually reversed the damage. Abnormal brain activity normalized, toxic tau proteins dropped, degeneration stopped, and memory returned. A review of 1.4 million patient records showed people who'd taken either drug for cancer had lower Alzheimer's rates. Clinical trials will test whether these work safely in humans, of course. The hurdle here, though, is that these are chemo drugs with really serious side effects, so we need to be careful. For families out there living with Alzheimer's, you don't just want slowed decline, you want reversal. And to hear the words memory restored is almost unthinkable, I'm sure. But we need to stay really grounded here because mice aren't people and chemo isn't casual treatment. Still, what excites me here is the mindset. Instead of inventing some new tech from scratch, which would be cool, don't get me wrong, researchers have figured out what tools we already have, and they've tried those, which is pretty cool. So if you're working with somebody with Alzheimer's, or you know somebody with Alzheimer's, or you have that in your family, here's some thoughts for you. Follow the research. Don't just let tomorrow steal today. Dignity, patience, and presence are also medicine of a type, the kind no drug can really replace. That said, I hope to God these drugs really work. So on to our final story. Aurora, Colorado, April 2024. Surveillance shows 33-year-old registered sex offender Solomon Galligan storming a school playground, lunging at an 11-year-old boy as kids screamed, "Stranger danger." He tripped, fled, and was arrested, thank God, and was charged with attempted kidnapping and child abuse. Now, fast forward to August this month, 2025, a judge just dropped all charges after doctors declared Galligan permanently incompetent to stand trial, citing schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, which he was diagnosed with at age 16. Under Colorado's 2024 law, he now faces only a short-term civil commitment, up to 90 days. Before possible release, if deemed non-threatening, no requirements will be put into place to notify the victims. It's the fourth time since 2018 Galligan has avoided prosecution on similar grounds. Outrage, of course, exploded online. One viral X post drew 5.7 million views, probably more and counting, with parents demanding some kind of change. Now, with this story in mind, my opinion here might be an unpopular one, but I'm going to share it nonetheless. This case proves we need secure psychiatric hospitals again. Now, I'm not saying we have to go back in time like in the 1960s for some kind of an asylum, but someone like Galligan, who's severely mentally ill and repeatedly dangerous, would have been placed in a state hospital like an asylum indefinitely. Those institutions were far from perfect. Of course, they were fraught with abuse scandals, budget issues, and the deinstitutionalization movement led to mass closures. The promise was community-based care. The reality, however, was thousands left to cycle between the streets, short hospital stays, and sometimes violence. Now, we can't return to the abuse of the old asylums. I get that. But we do need a modern, safeguarded system for people who are permanently incompetent to stand trial and pose a clear risk of danger. Now, prison's not probably an option, but also freedom's not an option. Secure care has to be the option. Because compassion without boundaries isn't compassion. It's negligence. And in this case, it's children who will carry the cost. Now, from Illinois classrooms to Alzheimer's labs to Colorado courtrooms, the thread is the same, protecting the vulnerable. Thanks so much for joining us with the VoyageCast Top 3. If you like this kind of news content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us that notorious 5-star review. Because remember, this is the algorithm overlord's way of connecting us with more people who might benefit from the kind of content we create. If you want to connect with us here at the VoyageCast, or you're looking for services from Voyage's counseling, check the show notes for all the links.